Hi, I'm Lisa Barnett, and I am so excited to join you here today on this very special day, the Lion's Gate. I love the Lion's Gate because I know from accessing my Akashic Records that I have spent many, many lifetimes in the Sirius realms, in the dog star, on planet A and planet B. So I have been both whale and dolphin, as well as I have been lion and blue. I'm not sure what we called ourselves when we were blue. I love the energy of Sirius. And I've even spent a lot of lifetimes in ancient Egypt, because the way the record keepers talk about some of what was created in Egypt was that the Syrians came to Egypt and helped with the education, the work of building pyramids and creating these beautiful sacred sites. And so this is a very, very special day for me, and I'm sure it is a very special day for you, as we align to this beautiful energy of Sirius and are able to start to reclaim some of the wisdom that is coming. And again, even being able to remember some of the wisdom or the lifetimes or the energy that you may have had by having lived in the system that we refer to as Sirius. And so just very happy 8/8 to you. And just a little bit about myself. I am the founder of Akashic Knowing School of Wisdom, where I have specialized in teaching people to access their own soul guidance, to understand their soul's plan by accessing their own personal Akashic records. So I love to share that energy and information with people, and I teach many times a year so that people can start to wake up, have really clear, concise conversations with their own personal Akashic record keepers to support them in their life. I also have 2 books, The Infinite Wisdom of the Akashic Records and From Questioning to Knowing, with 73 healing prayers to transform your life. So if you want to find those, they're on Amazon and easy to find. And so let's jump in and talk about a couple of things. Of course, we'll talk about the Akashic Records. So I always like to start with just kind of a basic bit about what the Akashic Records are and why they're really useful to us. Over the years, over the last 25, 30 years of teaching and doing healing work and writing books, I've had so many people say to me, aren't the Akashic Records just kind of about your past lives? I don't know that I care that much about my past lives. And the truth is that there is so much more information in your Akashic Records, and so much of it is actually very, very valuable, so that you can truly create the life that your heart and soul desire now in this lifetime. So the Akashic Records are the recording of your soul's journey from the moment that you individuated from source until you at some point decide to return home. Everything you've ever been or done in all of these planes and dimensions, in these galactic realms, in these planets like Sirius or Arcturus or the Pleiades or Orion's belt. Many of us have lived there a lot too, as well as places like Andromeda or Lyra. So we truly are all star seeds. We really have traveled so many places, planes, and dimensions. And it really is time to start to use the information and the wisdom that you've been storing in your Akashic field to reclaim some of the gifts and talents that you want to bring back to Earth right now. So your Akashic record is an etheric storehouse of information and wisdom. Every single lifetime you've ever lived has been written and stored in your own personal library. And you have your own personal set of librarians. I often call them the record keepers, or sometimes the Akashic masters. Most of us have at least a dozen beings of light who are in service just to you. So, of course, there is so much that they are here to share with us, and so many ways that they can support us. So I'll jump in and start to talk a little bit about that, as well as I want to talk about quantum healing through your Akashic records, and a little bit also about your soul's plan. So lots and lots to cover. So I'll just jump in. So people often ask me, what do the Akashic record keepers say about what's going on the planet right now? Right? Sometimes if we turn on the news, it's crazy out there. And we think, is the world actually getting better? And it's interesting because, of course, the record keepers say that we have shifted timelines. We've gone from a very old, destructive timeline into this high vibrational ascension timeline where we truly are moving into the third and the fourth, and moving out of the third into the fourth and fifth dimensions. And so why does the world not really look like it's waking up? Why is the world really appearing so in such bad shape and so traumatized? But one of the reasons the record keepers say is that we're seeing that is that before we can make that shift into the fifth dimension, we need to see, understand, actually realize what has been hidden for hundreds and thousands of years. So there are huge paradigms. There is a lot of old dark energy that has been holding the earth captive in a sense. And until we can actually see it and let it go, see it and heal it, know that we have the ability to unwrite, to clear, release, delete these old karmic patterns that we've been stuck in for thousands and thousands of years, to see the emotional pain, the trauma, all of these just low vibrational paradigms that we've lived in. And so when we can start to see them, and more people can see them, then we can transform them. So when they stay hidden, when they're kind of out of sight, out of mind, we don't do anything about it. And so right now, what we're seeing is all the garbage is up to be seen, to be healed. And so what the record keepers are saying is that this really is the time to get out there and do everything that you can do, everything that is really kind of in part of your Akashic soul plan. What did you come to do? How can you help humanity? So it definitely is time to help balance masculine, feminine energy. They've been so imbalanced for probably 3,000 or 4,000 years, where it lost balance. There was a long time where the divine feminine ruled the world, and then divine masculine came in and kind of stomped us out, and it has been imbalanced to the masculine side ever since. And so it's not about getting the divine feminine up again to the top. It's literally about equality of everything. And so they're equal in our relationships, equal in our businesses, equal in, our monetary income, all of the aspects. Women, obviously, should completely and utterly have control over their own body. Men, should never be able to say what we can and cannot do with our own physical body. So starting with some of these crazy things that are happening in the world, it's important for all of us to get out there and do whatever it is. Personally, I spend a lot of hours every single week doing collective healing for humanity and for the planet. And so doing wonderful shows like this, where I can do some group healing to unwrite some of these old stories, to release some of the soul contracts, collective contracts, some of really the old beliefs that have been stuck for so long that we're just oblivious to them. So they've showed up to be seen, to be healed, to be released, to have these records updated, upgraded, rewritten. So often people will say, what is different now that we can do this? And what the record keepers say is, because we are now in a new, really big planetary alignment, right? We went from kind of the old, very low vibrational energy. We finally shifted into the new age, the age of Aquarius. And we've shifted into a whole new yuga, which is a 26,000 year cycle. And so they say that these next few hundred years, so a long time, will really be a golden age. So it's really the light workers and all of humanity who have come to bring about this golden age. And I know that if you're here listening to me right now, you are one of the light workers who chose to come to Earth right now for this very exciting and sometimes challenging lifetime, to do the work that we have been attempting to do for hundreds and thousands of years and thousands even of lifetimes. And so the vibration is high enough on the planet. There is enough of the galactic light coming to the Earth right now. Of course, our dear Gaia, our beautiful Mother Earth, is awakening. And so her energy is raising every single day. And those kind of the light from the galactic center, the light from Gaia, between those two, I believe we have no choice but to awaken. And so when we can embrace this work and truly do everything that we know how to do, it will happen with greater ease and grace than if we, kind of put our foot down and stamp our feet. I sometimes myself end up feeling a little bit like an angry child, like, oh my gosh, it's been so hard. Why, right? When's it going to happen? And the record keepers continue to say to us, keep putting one foot in front of the other. Just keep walking, right? Just that idea that as we follow our soul guidance, as we actually follow the plan your soul wrote before you were born, if you can follow that a little bit every day, before we know it, we will be there. We will have arrived in the beautiful fifth dimension. And so we who are conscious, you and I, are able to start to rewrite our own Akashic records. So one of the very, very cool things right now is that I know I do lots of Akashic record reading and healing sessions for clients, as well as, I'm doing hundreds and thousands of readings and teaching students every year to help to raise the vibration of the planet. And so as we can learn to access our own Akashic records, it's a phenomenal empowerment tool that you can use every day. Of course, I love doing readings and healings for people, but as we're going forward, if you have the inclination to embrace your own self-empowerment, this is totally the time to do that, to learn to access your soul's plan. So let me talk a little bit about all of that and describe a little more how this is going to help us ascend and wake up. So before you were born, each and every one of you wrote a plan, and that plan includes dozens and often dozens of soul contracts with people that you wish to support. So often those are your parents or family members, your significant partner, your children. It may be some or all of those people, depending on what you plan to do and what you wish to learn. Because of course, we often will write soul contracts with people that are a little bit challenging. And sometimes we write one with someone who wants to learn something. They may have some challenges or issues or emotional pain. Maybe they have some addiction patterns or health issues, or just a variety of psychological challenges. And we said, I will come in and be your child and I will support you. And my love, my light, because we know how light and bright we are before we embody. We forget once we get down here in these suits of, flesh. But before we embody, we know our power and our gifts and our abilities. And we say, I will love you so much. You will be able to overcome your challenges or your patterns or your addictions. And sometimes it works exactly that way. I know that many of you have had parents with addictive patterns or alcoholism or different sorts of challenges, and your love has supported them and helped them to change their lives. And sometimes the person never wakes up enough to see your light, to be able to make that shift for themselves. And that's part of what we've considered this old karmic wheel of life that has been happening here on this planet for 10,000 or so years. So we write a plan. We do the best we can to remember it, to embrace it, to work through it. And of course, it doesn't always work out that way. And that's okay too. Right? There's never any real punishment or negative thing that happens, because we know that once we hit the earth, once we are embodied, most of us have amnesia. I'm sure there's some of you out there who are like me, who at 3 years old, or sometimes it's 2 or sometimes it's 4, right in those usually very early years, we have that memory. We were like, oh my gosh, I'm in a body. I didn't want to be in a body. That was my realization. I'm trapped. Oh my gosh, send me back. And of course, no way for mom to send me back. But so we write these different soul contracts to support each other, to love each other, to be love, light, compassion, to help to raise the vibration of the planet. And of course, we also write those aspects because we want to learn and grow as a soul. So I know it sometimes sounds funny, but what the record keepers say is that when we're in other dimensions and realms, life can be very instantaneous. We have instant manifestation. We fly or teleport. We're not solid. Life is a million times easier. And so we chose the challenge of Earth. We literally created this planet to hold this low vibration so we could experience all the craziness that we're experiencing. We wanted to be able to learn, to grow, to move from victimhood into awakening, into love and compassion. We wanted to be able to be forgiveness. We wanted to forgive others and love them anyway. And we knew when we chose these lives that it wasn't going to be easy. We knew that this was very much about soul growth. And that's truly what so many of us have experienced in our lives. And in many of our past lives, a lot of old karmic patterns and traumas and pain. And now we finally are at this place where we can transform all of those old energies. Clear, release, delete these old patterns, these karmic patterns, these ties that have bound us to this matrix, to this amnesia. And I know that we are so close to breaking through those ties that bind, to waking up and literally remembering the expanse of who we are as these divine infinite souls. I believe that in these next few years, we will have moved far enough into this new earth that we're creating to be able to create, to manifest instantaneously, to really, truly know the life that we would desire to create, and then be able to create it because we're clear, we're on purpose. We're just aware and awake like we've never been anywhere before. So this is so exciting to me. And of course, the record keepers say, well, you know, there are 7 billion people on the planet. So the light workers, the first wave light workers, the second wave light workers, we have definitely a third wave coming in. And I believe that a lot of the third wave, those who are probably under 20 or 30, they will be bringing in new inventions to help us transform the earth, to help us really heal this trauma that we've created to Gaia. So cleaning our water, cleaning our air, redoing our food system so it becomes equitable for all. I believe all of that is coming soon because I know it is certainly written in the galactic Akashic Records. So it's interesting because really just for the last 30, 40, 50 years, the information in the Akashic Records that we've been accessing has been very much about more the earthly Akashic Records. It's been more specifically about the past lives we've had here on this planet, the gifts and talents that we've honed in our hundreds and hundreds of lives here on Earth. And so one of the great gifts of being able to access your own Akashic Records is that you can go back and you can say, show me all the lifetimes in which I was a healer. I would like to clear and heal any challenges from those past lives that are blocking me from accessing that information, accessing those gifts and talents. And so we can in the Akashic Records, because of course, the Akashic Records is part of the quantum field of source. We can literally move outside of time space in the quantum field, go back into those past lives that we were, say, that prolific healer. We can work on clearing, releasing any challenges, because sometimes we were killed for being the healer or whatever it might have been that didn't work out very well for us. We can clear a lot of that old energy, that old emotional pain and trauma, so that we can also reclaim those gifts and talents and bring it into our, literally into our energy field, into our life, into our body now. So when we can really start to deepen into this access of who we are as an ancient soul, when we can start to access some of the plan that your soul wrote before you were born, then it becomes much easier to work with that plan, to see what we've done, maybe what we haven't even known we wanted to do some healing around the old trauma, because I know we've been talking about this for quite a few years, but all of the karmic patterns have been cleared from the field, from the Akashic Records, from source vibration, from the quantum field. And now it's down to us as the people on Earth. It's to us to let go of the old victimhood patterns, to let go of the anger or the hatred or the jealousy, to release those low vibrational emotions, to be able to move into the higher vibrational energy, into compassion and joy and love. And of course, forgiveness is where that all starts. And so when we start to see the bigger picture of who we are and what our soul planned, then it makes it so much easier to follow that plan and to literally realize and know that we're on purpose. Because what the record keepers always say about soul purpose, and of course I've had thousands of people say, what is my purpose? And the record keepers always say, well, your purpose is to complete your soul's plan. And your soul has written 20, 30, 40 soul contracts. Now, we don't have to complete them all. We put a lot of contingency contracts in there because we sometimes write a soul contract for a significant partner. Most of us honestly write 6 to 12 soul contracts for significant partners or spouses. And the reason we do that is really because the timing and the size of the planet. So sometimes we're a little bit older or younger than we thought we'd be when we wrote that plan. Sometimes we end up because of our parents' choices in other countries where we didn't really plan on being. Now, we as humans, I mean, how many people do you know who have grew up, say, in the United States and moved to Europe and gotten married? Or vice versa. Or, you know, we move about. So it doesn't mean that just because you're in a different country, you won't meet or find that person. But we do write contingency plans. So that's always good to know. You're not stuck if you didn't find the one, because there's not one, there's probably 10 or 12 souls out there that are part of your soul family who are here to love you and support you. And so it's important to realize, and some of the soul plans we write with significant partners may also be about learning and growing. There may be some old lesson we haven't learned. Maybe we haven't truly learned to love unconditionally. Maybe in our first relationship, or maybe it's our first marriage, we're very judgmental. We can't really support that person. And after that marriage ends, we realize, wow, you know, I was definitely a big piece of that issue in that marriage, right? I am going to do my own self-work to love myself, to be able to love others unconditionally. So as we kind of really work through our lives, it is a process. That's why the record keepers say you don't have one purpose. All of you have 3, 4, 5, 6 gifts and talents you would like to share with humanity. And they often show up at different times in your life. And they're often the easiest, funnest thing for you to do. And I always think it's interesting because many people believe that somehow their purpose is hard. But the truth is that your purpose is easy because it's one of your great gifts and you've honed it over hundreds or thousands of lifetimes or years. And so that piece that comes to you easily is part of your soul's plan and part of your soul purpose. And sometimes it's about being the light worker, about being able to be that love and shine that beautiful light out into the world just by being you. Sometimes it's about the joy that you get from creating art. Might be cooking, might be painting murals, it might be writing a book, it might be listening, right? All those fabulous therapists out there who are great listeners. It's another phenomenal soul purpose. And so when we could start to look at the fact that we have a variety of purposes, being that wonderful, loving, kind, supportive parent is usually one of our purposes. And so as we start to look at purpose in a little bit of a different way, as we start to realize it's actually what you've been doing a lot of your life, even if you're in corporate America or corporate Europe, corporate wherever, you may be doing your soul work. Maybe you're the team leader of a team and you are a great listener and a great organizer, and you can hold the space for people to learn and grow as they're doing their piece of the work. Being a leader is a huge soul purpose on the planet, and we need so many more to step into that purpose if that calls to you. So as we start to realize that what we've done in hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of other lifetimes, many of that is what we wrote our soul plan on, right? So your past lives are important because those are the gifts and talents we want to reclaim, acknowledge, remember. And what I've noticed often when I teach students and they learn to access their Akashic records, and I always have this exercise or process where we open our records and we say to the record keepers, please show me a past life in which I was awake, I was enlightened, I was really living in that energy and vibration. And I would say that most of the students are so surprised to see that they've had more than one past life where they've been awakened, where they've been supporting their world, their community, where they've held the light, the energy for others to awaken. Sometimes we've been gurus or teachers or mystics. Sometimes we've been alchemists, or we've run a mystery school, or maybe it's been a beautiful healing temple. All of these different times and lifetimes. And so what I see is that when we can validate ourselves by knowing this is true, by being able to access some of these past lives where we really have been the beautiful healer, teacher, wise woman, wise man, where we've held the light and changed the world. When we know it's not just a dream, we've done it before, more than once. It energetically really can transform you. And so I hope that everyone has some chance at some point to access their own Akashic records, whether you have a reading with an Akashic reader or you take a class with me. It would be so lovely to see everyone start to access this beautiful high vibrational energy. And what I'm going to do with everyone right now is bring you into the Akashic field with me so we can do a group clearing, and we will energetically clear what we can to let go of some of the old collective vibrations that we all hold as a group here. And then we can reclaim some of our gifts and talents. So let's just all take a moment and sit back, close our eyes. Let's just drop out of your head, out of thinking, wondering, and down into your sacred heart center. I always see the sacred heart as a blend of the high heart and the fourth chakra, and they open and expand and create a beautiful rose gold ball of spinning light and energy. And let it open and expand as wide as your body or wider. And we ask the divine lords of unconditional love to help us center fully in this moment as we create this sacred space. Please wrap us in your love and protection and allow us to travel to the highest realms of the Akasha available to us today, especially on this beautiful 8/8 Lion's Gate day. And just streaming in the Syrian light, receiving the beautiful awakened light from Gaia as we access the quantum field and source energy, the beautiful galactic Akashic field. And as we lay our multidimensional hearts open, we release all that no longer serves us. And we ask the Akashic Lords to help us to connect to the highest energy and vibration we can hold right now. And so it is. And you may feel the beautiful silvery blue column of light of the Akashic record swirling around you. Oh, I see it all around the planet because there's people all over the world joining us today. And not only all over the world, that was so sweet because I just got that. Oh, well, and in many other dimensions, people not on the planet, Syrians who are not on any planet right now, they're here around the world supporting us. The Pleiadians, the Arcturians, all these beautiful beings of light that are here also supporting us in transforming our world, helping us move into this fifth dimension and ascend with ease and grace. And so, wrapped in the beautiful Akashic column of light, we ask our personal record keepers who have all come forward for each and every one of you. We ask them to help us to clear, release, delete any old patterns of less than, of unworthiness, and of doubt that may be showing up as you're moving forward and wanting to step into your higher energy and your higher work. And so it's important now that we unwrite these old records where we lived in such great doubt and pain and lack and unworthiness. So we go back outside of time and space into the quantum field of the Akash, and the record keepers are actually erasing, unwriting, deleting our records of low vibrational doubt and low self-esteem, any certainly self-hate or angst or pain that has made us feel less than. Feel that reverberate through my whole body, so that's fabulous. Ooh. So clearing, releasing, deleting all of that energy that no longer serves. And we want to clear any soul contracts, any group contracts, or any kind of collective contracts that have held us in that energy or kind of emotion of less than. There are definitely lives where we contract with someone else to be less than them, to support them in their growth. I'll just be your assistant. I'll be the one who stands by you. I'll be the one who helps and supports you. And though we plan it as a support system, often in the human world, we feel bad about ourselves. We feel sometimes unloved or less than that other person that we're actually here supporting. You're actually supporting that person, and yet we're feeling like we're unworthy. And so we want to clear, release, delete any and all of those contracts. I just like to picture them as a big bonfire of old scrolls and contracts burning up. So if you get that flame or you get that feeling of fire, we're burning all of these contracts with other people or groups. We often contract with big groups of people. So we want to burn all those group contracts where we have said that we will be less than, or the support system. So letting that energy go so that we no longer feel less than, so that we can fully step into the truth of who we are as the beautiful, divine, wise souls that you are. Lots of contracts all going up in flame. I always love that vision, kind of a big bonfire of like old scrolls all burning. Beautiful. Whew. So just letting those energies go, all those heavy, low vibrational energies that have held us back, held us down, kept us stuck in that old pattern or matrix, those old karmic patterns, they are gone, deleted, unwritten. And as we rewrite those books to know the truth of who we are, we ask each of our record keepers to come present and to support us as we release those old books and stories, and we update and upgrade our soul contracts with people in our life, in this life, to be able to be equals, to be able to support each other, to be able to love each other unconditionally, to be the love, to be the light, to be the support, and to know your divinity as you do that. And we ask our record keepers to bring present into our physical body energy field now all the energy of the gifts that we wish to access in this record, in this lifetime, this specific lifetime. We ask the record keepers to bring all available memory, gifts, and talents present into your physical body now. Beautiful. Beautiful. And so we thank the Akashic Masters for stepping forward and assisting us with this process today. And we close and lock the Akashic group records for now. And so it is. Blessed be. And we invite all of this beautiful, new, updated, upgraded energy to integrate down into your body on a cellular level with ease and grace over the next few days. So always great to remember, drink more water, get more rest, take good care of yourself as you allow this new, beautiful, high vibrational Akashic energy to integrate into your body. Thank you. I feel so blessed for being able to spend this time with you. Just wishing you so much joy and bliss on this beautiful 8/8 Lions Gate. Bye for now.